There's been speculation about it, but there was one thing that at least for sure happened in the Mariners world currently. A minor league bat in Cole Tucker. Cole Tucker has spent 4 seasons of his 5-year major league career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nothing too spectacular, low 200 batting average. He only played in 5 games with the Rockies this past year and hit 500, but that's 4 hits in 8 at-bats, which, is a very small sample size. So there's something there. I mean, he is a younger infielder. He's 27, which is supposedly peak age in Major League Baseball. Not a lot there. He's played kind of a number of positions, which the Mariners do value. Obviously, you look at Dylan Moore and Sam Haggerty. They're viewed as super utility guys. Tucker playing a lot of shortstop, but can play right field and second base. The biggest news with Cole Tucker, though, is that he is married to Vanessa Hudgens. So there's that. That's been the biggest piece of news regarding him, which is unfortunate, because you'd like to view him as him, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, that's cool, I guess. So if Cole Tucker somehow makes the Major League roster, then the Mariners have Vanessa Hudgens as a super fan. So there's that. But that's about it with the Mariners. I mean, there's this talk of a potential trade for Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox. Cease finished, near the top in AL Cy Young voting this past year, and that would be great to have, even more pitching to this Mariners staff. You look at, the Cy Young odds for this year came out over the past week, and the Mariners had 3 players in the top 10 of those odds, and Luis Castillo, George Kirby, and Logan Gilbert. You'd be adding another player into that with Dylan Cease. Obviously, the season has to happen, so on and so forth. There's 2 things I find wrong with any potential rumor for Dylan Cease. One, you don't need more pitching per se. You don't need to add a top-level pitcher like Dylan Cease. You've got Brian Wu and Bryce Miller that are going to continue to develop. Really encouraged with Bryce Miller adding more secondary pitches this offseason. Brian Wu has some great stuff already that he can continue to develop. I don't see any reason to move those guys and to bring in Dylan Cease, especially considering you've got Wu and Miller under club control through 2029. And Cease only has a few more years before he hits free agency. 2, you don't, again, in a different light, you don't need more pitching because you need more offense. So unless this is a package deal where somehow the Mariners get Luis Robert Jr. or maybe another potential bat in the Chicago system, there's not a lot going on with the White Sox, truthfully. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the Mariners to go out and do that. Not a lot makes sense. I'm cautiously looking because that news could drop at any minute. As we've seen happen throughout the course of the show, we had the Eugenio Suarez, Jesse Winker deal drop in the middle of recording. It just doesn't make sense for the Mariners to add more pitching when they've struggled so much with, a lack of hitting. The pitching has been great for years. This pitching staff, this rotation, the bullpen have been rock solid. It's the hitting that's been such a struggle for this Mariners team, and everybody knows it, from the front office to the team to the fans. Everybody knows that the hitting is the issue. We don't need a Dylan Cease. That's not necessary. So I would just generally ignore that. I don't see a point in adding that. But we've been surprised by this Mariners front office before, so I could say all of that, and it could end up not mattering. I digress. Thankfully, we are, 16 days away from the Mariners pitchers and catchers reporting, so we're really close to spring training coming around. The Mariners could be making moves to add on during spring training as well. As I mentioned with the Winker and Suarez trade, that happened during spring training. There are a ton of free agents who haven't signed yet and might not sign until well into spring training. So that sort of stuff we could see take place as we move forward here. But otherwise, the Mariners relatively quiet. Outside of that, I mean, there's been news regarding their minor league affiliates. The Rainiers, the Travelers, the Aqua Sox, and the Modesto Nuts have all named their coaching staff, as well as the Dominican Summer League coaches have been named as well. But in terms of the Mariners themselves, that news, there's not much going on besides Cole Tucker signing a minor league deal and getting an invite to spring training. So there's that.